Two more URC rounds left. Baby Boks dominating. And the SA Cup, well, the Cheetahs are hanging on by a thread. Let's get stuck in. Good evening and welcome to the Friday Bit of an Animal episode. I am joined by Bryce and Sibusiso. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, how you doing?
All good, all good. Not as good as you, Sibusiso. You're in the Champions League final. You're about to win the league. When are you and Dane recording you guys go your Arsenal podcast? What's it called again? Not Man City, right?
We're supposed to record tomorrow, but I don't think there's enough guys on because we normally have panel of five guys, so there's two
Mm.
guys on now. Yeah, so it's just at the times, but we'll see if we record tomorrow.
Yeah, go for it. You just need two people for a podcast. That's our philosophy here on the Global Gainline anyway. Sometimes we just have to do what we have to do. Yeah, shout out to Dane, by the way, because Dane needs to get the producer credit on this podcast as well, because he's helped me a lot with like leads on people that could help out in terms of different
Uh,
podcasts. Speaking of
super.
that, if you just tuned in, this is a bit of an animal. You're watching the Global Gainlines on YouTube, or you're listening to it on audios. We're going to expand this podcast network even further. Next season, we're going to have an additional Zoom license, and we're looking to accumulate a Stormers podcast. You'll be joined by Bryce and Paul and a few other characters. Lions podcast, you'll be joined by Sibusiso and Demi Kosi, and hopefully a few other characters. And then if Jean can find other people in Pretoria who want to appear on TV and not speak Afrikaans, that's fine as well. I'm working hard to find Shark supporters, but everybody seems to be on the drink these days because of how poorly we're performing. So that's neither here or there. And I personally would love it if we could get a Griquas podcast up, a Cheetahs podcast. There's 14 unions in Cape Town, so sky's the limit. There are no restrictions. So we're putting the email address in the description. Reach out to producer Lee. Yeah, you just have to have a good attitude and a bit of free time in the week and love rugby as much as we do. Gentlemen, we'll get started with the most exciting game of the week. The team on the highest point of the log of South African perspective, the Stormers. Stormers are in about an hour's time, are taking on Ulster. Adam's team, Adam from the URC Rewind. Yeah, and Bryce will go over to you while I bring the team sheet up.
Is Bryce muted?
I can't hear him. Can you?
No, I can't.
Yeah, Bryce, we can't hear you for some reason. There must be an audio issue. Yeah, that's fine. These things happen. For the audio listeners, Bryce is just sorting out his audio for a second. He's gonna unplug his mic and then replug it in and do a few things. In the meantime, Wareka lunch starts at 15.
I was
Hopefully he
actually
can like
surprised to see it.
yeah. Hopefully things pan out a bit better for him. Look, he's a quality player. He's done more than most people have done. He's won a World Cup. He's won a URC title. Um, he, I'm glad they dropped him for the well, they didn't select him for the previous game. Maybe he just needs to get his mind right and his form back. The quality player just out of form. Wandile Similani on the wing.
Yeah,
Dan du Plessis at outside center, not inside center. Damian Willemse at inside center. Sibusi. So
yeah,
your thoughts?
yes. Yeah, no, I don't have an issue with Damian Valenzuela, with Damian at inside center. I mean, he's played there for the Springboks as well, so he's capable in playing in that position. And yeah,
Testing.
I'm just not
Testing.
sure with Warren Falan. Maybe he got his head right. He can come back and actually try
Testing.
Yep, we
and
can hear you.
salvage whatever it is that.
Oh, you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah,
can.
sorry about that. I
We can
think
hear you.
Mike just decided to give up there.
Yeah. Continue, Sibusi.
Yeah, no, I was saying, hopefully Warren Haaland will actually uh perform better and vindicate whatever decision Dobbo is doing is making, because the fans were in Dobbo's back in not selecting him. Maybe the reason most fans didn't want Warren Haaland at 15 is because Damien was being moved to the wing rather than at center. So with Damien at center, where I mean he's played there for the Springboks, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. So yeah,
Over to you, Bryce.
even though
Yeah, I
Dan du
think.
Plessis is at 13 and
Oh,
him at 12. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
mm,
that is weird. I don't think I've ever seen Dan du Plessis at 13, but I might just be forgetting. Bryce, go ahead.
mm. Yeah, so I was talking about like how this game is going to really determine if that Glasgow fixture was actually a turning point or if that was just a blip. So yeah, it's nice to see that we've gone, I think, as strong as we can. I don't think there's any other players that we could have chosen. I don't know if Ruan Nal is injured or what, but I think that this is more or less our strongest team. I am a bit I'm a bit hesitant on the Imad Khan. Not that I'm saying he's not a good player. I'm just saying that Cobus Reinach was such a strong scrum off that, especially when you're playing, for lack of a better word, a limited game plan, you need a strong nine. And I think Imad Khan is sometimes he cooks, sometimes the pressure does get to him, and then he starts, making mistake after mistake. So hopefully this is the game where he stamps his authority, and if he does, then it's great for Dobbo, because then, next season we can actually lighten the load on Reinach. So yeah, I think overall it's looking good. But I don't know about the hooker on the bench thing. I know Dobbo said he's taking a risk. I think Dion's covering hooker, but I mean, Dion tends to get injured quite often, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work. I mean, if Dion goes down, can De Villiers play hooker? I don't know. So look, Dobbo's taking a gamble here, but hopefully it does pay off. I think it will be nice to see all three of those loose forward come on as loose forwards. So yeah, overall, I'm excited. I think we could win this, but look, that's a strong Ulster team, and they've been playing good rugby. I mean, I watched them in the Challenge Cup and in the URC when they do play at full strength. They are strong, and Troki and Ruas. That's the battle, guys. That's one I'm looking forward to. I think not that I'm saying it's going to be a battle for the Boks jersey, but it can be a real statement from Augustus's part to say, listen, I'm not out the mix yet. After Jasper, who's there? Yeah, that's my thoughts there.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I mean, it's almost like innovation. Like Sibisi said, I think David Williams is an awesome player, like the best player we have, and he can play very good at multiple positions. When the Stormers initially picked him at wing, I was like, look, um, they're with him all the time. They're trying something new, and then it didn't work. And I was calling for them to change it. I think we were all calling for them to change it to move Williams away from the wing, and then they took a few games
Yeah.
to heed that request from the fans and the spectators. But uh, I even like Damien Willemse at fly half. As it relates to Imad Khan, I think you make a good point there, Bryce. There were games where I watched where like even the captain got a bit upset with him. He's a highly thought after
Mm.
Baby Bok. Might not have won the Baby Bok World Cup, but not the Baby Boks won the World Cup once and then 12 years later, more recently last year. So it's not like we're winning the World Cup all the time, and we'll go more into depth on that in further podcasts. But like I rate Imad Khan, and the weird thing is that like you guys have got such good depth at scrum half. Um, Reinach, I don't know about he was in decent form when he got injured, but getting injured it's not ideal. He was still on paper anyway your best the most complete scrum half you had. And then the other options are David Devenager, who's like in no particular order by the way. David Devenager, who's like a player coach. Stefan Ongere, formerly from the Sharks, also another former baby buck, but more of a veteran presence. And then we've got Imad Khan and Asad Moos. It looked like Imad Khan is, as the sort of season progressed, Imad Khan, the depth chart became clear that it was Reinach and then Imad Khan and then sort of everybody else. I saw some comments on the social saying like, why are they playing Angre's crap? Just play Imad Khan, because the reality is that a few years ago when I left Newlands watching a Stormers game, I don't even think they were playing the Sharks. People were talking about the question of like, I forget what the two flyers were, Schroeder and then Gos or whatever. And there was the people were having different opinions of like which young fly off should actually start. So that just reflects like the passion of the spectators and stuff. The Paul de Villiers at 16 because Dion Fourie is covering hooker. That could backfire maybe, but like they're rolling the dice. This Ulster team is very, very good. Werner Koch is actually playing against the South Africans. So it's a very South African. There's Jono Trukis Augustus, one of my all-time favorite players. Werner's there. And then weirdly, they've got at number 23, they've got a guy by the name of Wilhelm de Klerk. He's 21-year-old and he's Irish. We're gonna have to like, I've never heard of him before. So they also, this is not necessarily the first team also.
Neither have I.
Yeah, this isn't the first team. Also, the team they've also had to rotate somewhat after a very sort of tight sort of Challenge Cup semi-final. So I think it's definitely Ulster are slight favorites. They don't necessarily have their first team completely on paper, but yeah, we're gonna have to see how things pan out. I mean, they've got Stormers have 3 loose forwards on the bench. That's interesting. Sasha starting. Any final thoughts, Sibusiso?
No, I'm not sure if the Stormers are actually, like Bryce said, I'm hoping that win against the Dragons is actually going to start up something and leading to the playoffs for them, because they actually need a great run of form leading to the playoffs. But I'm pretty not sure if they're gonna do something tonight. Hopefully they're gonna get the bonus point if they lose. Yeah. Or if they win, they're gonna win by a small margin. But I'm not really hopeful tonight.
Bryce, your final thoughts before we move on?
I completely agree with CBC. So I don't, and I'm hoping that this is like they come out with firing, they really turn a corner, but I'm expecting a close win here. Close win or a close loss. Because I really don't want us to leave here with no points, because that'll be disappointing after last week.
I mean, the starting front row, Nchudu, Sandi is a very good scrummager. Nchudu is very mobile, but his scrummaging was in up and down. He's had some good games as well. And then Stormers got a lot of wins early in the season by putting 2 locks on the bench and then bring them on in the second half and sort of completely dismantling the opposition scrum. That's if the opposition continue to scrum, unless they pretend they have to go to uncontested scrums, shots fired, Ospreys. And Euromatea on the bench. We're not yet at the baby box, guys, but like we're gonna talk about baby box a bit later, but do the Stormers really have Sasha, Matea, Kyle Smith, and Yakin Adams? Oh, the depth of fly off. And then in an emergency, they could play Damien Willemse.
I think they will get rid of one of them. I think there's too much talent. They're gonna get rid of them. One of them.
I think it's very similar to when the Sharks all of a sudden found themselves with Sandile Nohamba. Jaden Hendricks was in form at the time. Jaden Hendricks' ability, but form has dipped somewhat, and then Grant Williams all at the same time. And then I came to the epiphany that like, oh my God, like we're gonna lose one of these guys, but understandably so, because you can't expect people to ride the bench. So I mean, they're all super high related players. Sanino Hamba, who's now in Japan. If you're watching this, when you come back to South Africa, how about you come to the Sharks instead of the Stormers? This is just my opinion. We move now on to the Bulls. Jean is not with us. That means Sibusiso is going to take the lead because he is in the Gauteng province. Sibusiso, the Bulls have stacked their team, and They're going to get 5 points and put 50.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but I'm honestly not sure with Vinny Leroux at fly half. But other than that, I think unless I have the wrong team, they're playing Zebra this weekend, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I'm actually looking at the right team. Because I see Ambrose Papier is going to come off the bench, and what Jean said, he said apparently he's having his 170th cap off the bench, and yeah, so I'm not sure of this Bulls lineup. I mean, having Billy Leroux at fly half and Paul DeWitt at scrum half, when your best players are actually on the bench, yet you want to actually solidify your playoff spot. So yeah, hopefully they're gonna come up and actually do significant work to actually solidify their playoff spot. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm just not pretty sure with the fly half and the scrum half with both Ambrose and Hunter Pollard starting on the bench. Yet you need those points. I mean, your top try scorer is Ambrose, and you're starting him on the bench, and you need to actually get the points that you need. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
I'm a bit more confident, Bryce, because it's been made very clear that the Zebre team, they can get wins here and there. Away from home seems less likely. They're
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
they're not set up to win tournaments. They're set up to feed Treviso Benetton, and Treviso Benetton then feed the national team. Plus, once you like make your name at Treviso Benetton and sort of and with the national team, then you in the Italian system, then you get a chance to also, because you can still get picked if you play not in Italy for the Italian national team.
Hmm.
Then it's almost like there's an agreement within the system of like, okay, you've done your time. You were at Zebre for 2 seasons, then you were at Benetton for 3 seasons. You we don't
To
want
better
everybody to
team. Yeah.
leave. We don't want everybody to leave Benetton all at the same time to make Benetton uncompetitive. But like, you guys, maybe 3 players a season, you go, okay, you guys can go to France, learn a new style of playing, gain valuable experience, make significantly more money, and still then benefit the national team while the Zebre guys sort of fall in. So they have a conveyor belt system there, Bryce. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm a bit more confident that the Bulls will actually get this done, considering yes, Zebre have 1 or 2 good players, and if we
At
watch the
home as well.
URC, yeah, exactly, it's in Pretoria. Um, the or if you watch the URC Rewind, some of our colleagues there have said that they've spoken to some Zebre officials who basically, or people who have sort of inside info anyway, and maybe not officials, saying that at Zebre the focus is more individual development as opposed to like the team result, that type of thing. So, Bryce, your thoughts on what the Bulls can do this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting team because I'm looking at this lineup, and it's interesting that they got Jan Hendrik at Lucid and Marco van Staden at hooker when Jan Hendrik can actually play hooker. So that's an interesting, unless all their loose heads are injured or something, that's an interesting selection they have seen. I haven't seen JF van Heerden for a while actually, because that position's been like held down by Rowan Nokia for so long. So it'd be nice to see him back. But otherwise, this type of Bulls team, it can either cook or they can either be really messy. Because look, I know Willie Leroux he can cook, but sometimes when he's not cooking, then it can become quite a mess these days. But it's also I don't know what's the status with Keegan Johannes, because on the socials I read up, and then apparently there's a lot of fans that's quite upset that Keegan Johannes is not being selected as Flav. I don't think he's been selected as Flav the whole season. So I don't know what's going on there. Otherwise, it's I think they should win. They should get 5 points at Loftus. I mean, surely. I mean, this Zebra team is rock bottom at the moment. And with regards to Zebra, I don't know if this is true, but I think I was talking to someone from Zebra like last season. They said apparently apparently they were going to get bought out by a owner based in Milan, but I don't know how true that is, or what the progress is of that. So hopefully they do get bought out and become a serious franchise, because it's not like nice to have a team that's, battling for 15th every season. So yeah, I mean, it's hopefully the Bulls just do the job and not, like last season when the Sharks almost lost against Gqeberha. That we don't want
Yeah.
Bulls to have top five in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. But
Yeah.
Jesus, we were so close to losing because they were throwing the ball around. We couldn't live with them. I think you make a good point as it relates to Keegan Johannes. Look, when Ackerman took over, I thought maybe Keegan Johannes won't play as much as he did last season, but he's still a really good player. He can play really well at fly off and scrum off. I did not think he'd be out the team this much. But look, they've got a highly competitive team. They've got a lot of good players at scrum off and fly off. Yeah, I rate Keegan Johannes if he wants to come down to Durban where the weather's nicer and I'm told the women are more attractive than Pretoria. Maybe it works out. I mean, none of the Lions players who moved down to there was a debate of like did the Lions players who moved down to Durban because there's a raft of them lately, the both Chatuka brothers and the wing more recently. Do any of them regret moving to Durban? Probably competitively rugby wise, but maybe if I look at their social media, not in terms of like um life outside of rugby, happy wife, happy life type thing. So there's that aspect as well. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the Sharks game, which is a bit later in the day. Before we get to the pièce de résistance of the Lions game. So the Sharks, nothing to play for, lots of injuries, but a couple of guys have come back. Jaco Williams is starting at fullback, which is interesting. Obviously, the big talking point is Siaya starting at fly off. I'm a bit concerned that an 18-year-old is playing at fly off. I am an advocate for giving young players a chance, but I'm also very cautious about overexposing young players, especially in rugby, less so football, for the physical aspect of it. Yes, you're playing fly off. You can maybe play a game of get rid of the ball as soon as possible. And then that way the opposition can't really tackle you. And you're not going to take the ball into contact. And Siaya is extremely elusive. But overall, it's like the best possible team they can put together. Nobody's going on holiday. They could easily have like shuffled the team, even made it even younger because there's a lot of other young players who might want a chance. But like I said, for the last 2 weeks, this is pretty much the team I'd hope they'd put out in terms of balance of youth and experience. It's nice to see Lily Bester at number 23 back. He's been out with injury for a while. He broke through into the Sharks team alongside Jorenjo Julius from the Baby Box team. He played really well for the Baby Box at outside center and wing. So he's just been struggling with injuries. It's just, I don't know the thinking of like Jean Smith. I know Jean is leaving for Benetton, but he's our only fit 23-year-old fly off. I would have persisted with him, but I don't know what the coaches are seeing. But overall, like aspects of the team are still very good. I mean, a loose forward trio of Emmanuel Tutuka, Vincent Tutuka at blind side, and Springbok captain Siya
Yeah.
Kolisi at open side. That's very good. Emil van Heerden, highly rated young player. Jason Jenkins again, since he arrived from Leinster, not the performances I'd hope, but give him this is his second season, and then obviously a very good forward pack of front row anyway of the veterans, Vizoch and Oxenchair, with younger Edwin Swart in between them, and then the bench front row is just basically the same as what we've seen. Patu Kakane Ganyane is basically taken over from Nchunu as Ox's understudy. Andrew Jacobs blows out in cold, but I do rate him. Koneral, like why does he give away one silly penalty every game? I don't know. Yes, he's like a monster, or he's like a giant of a human being, but like I need him to be more clinical. And then yeah, it's a 5-3 split with a scrum off, a fly off, and a utility back on the bench. So it's not a 6-2. So we're not trying to outmuscle them per se. This is a Benetton team that did defeat Leinster in their last game. And then obviously former Sharks, former Leopards fullback Reno Smith from Paul. He's playing against his old team. I remember when Reno Smith was in the Sharks team when we defeated Western Province in the Currie Cup, and I was at Newlands, and he kicked a last minute penalty. I need to take a moment to actually look up that when that game was. Uh, Looks like Benetton are playing their first team, and
Mm.
it's a pretty good team, guys. This is no
Yeah,
joke. Sharks could lose this.
yeah.
The our friends at Rugby 365, they feel
They got
strongly
that
the Sharks are
wrong.
going to win by 10, but I'm
Mm.
not that confident. Uh,
Yeah.
lastly to you, Sibusiso.
They probably saw the. I'm saying maybe the guys at 365 they saw your pack because the pack is balanced with Springboks and actually, like you said, the guys that are very promising. So with that kind of pack, you are likely to get something up front. Plus, you do have some few Springboks at the back with Joe Edo, Makazole, and Andre Eysthuizen. So it's a very good balance of youth and experience, and like you said, which is something that you've been wanting to see. And I think Lorenzo and Andre Eysthuizen pairing is likely to be formidable tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see how it pans out. Oh, Conor he's getting his 50th cap tomorrow, so maybe that's why they kept him on, even though he causes a penalty every 3 seconds. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's a penalty machine. Bryce, have we spoken to you about this game?
No, but
No. Let's go.
I think the bookies there was a fixture. I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago. Benetton beat, I think it was an A minus or a full strength Leinster team, like with this Benetton team. So
Mm.
I wouldn't. I mean, look, this is going to be a tough game, and I hope that there's not too much pressure on like Jaco Williams and Siaya, because I mean, the worst thing that could happen now is the Sharks lose like by 12 or something, and then their confidence is shattered, and it's like, I'd hate for that to happen. Like, especially because I'm looking at that Benetton team. That's a strong team. I mean, and this is a outside of Esterhuizen
Yeah,
and
no,
Mapimpi, it's a backline that's got a lot of holes in there if the pressure's on. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's my
So
concern as well.
I think
I
just
like
one
Jaco
more
Williams.
point. Oh,
I
okay.
like Ja- I like Jaco
No,
Williams
no,
more
sorry about that.
at
yeah.
wing. Go ahead, Sibusiso. Yeah.
No, no, no. I just wanted to add that if CIA works at fly half,
Mm,
Mm.
it's actually going to benefit him and his
mm,
future in terms of him playing excellently at outside back and him. I mean, I haven't seen him play fly half since maybe 2 years ago when he was in grade 11,
mm.
and I think he did play for the Sharks at fly half in Craven Wake in one of the games. But if he actually works in this level at fly half, I think it's going to benefit him in his future.
Yeah. I prefer Jaco Williams at this stage of his career at wing. I mean, he made a man in
Wing.
the match performance at wing. Um, because I mean, he did start against the Bulls in Pretoria at fullback, and then he got hurt quite early in the game. That was unfortunate. Um, I know CIA more as a fullback, so maybe we just give him a chance. I mean, there's a lot of diminutive, and CIA is actually not that small a dude. He just looks small standing next to forwards.
No,
When he got his cap and he stood next to JP Peterson, he could look quite a big guy. I think we just think of him maybe as small because he's 18. I mean,
because of his
as
age.
yeah, yeah. And then the depth at fly off for the Sharks because we're losing Jean Smith is going to be Jordan Hendricks, Vusimoyo, who's with the baby box right now. And then unfortunately it looks like we're losing Luan Jeremy. I would have liked to have kept him considering Jean Smith is leaving. So if Siaya can fill in there as well. And obviously Apelele Fassi has played 1 or 2 games last season for the Sharks when we had an injury crisis at fly off. Fassi also played
Right.
like 12 and fly off at youth level and schools level and that type of thing. So yeah, we'll give CI a chance. Obviously, we all rate him highly. I mean, in the last game, he actually played 2 weeks ago for the Sharks because the Sharks didn't play in the last weekend. He made the most breaks and he like yeah, he beat the most defenders. So I think the Rugby 365's guys, I can understand where they're coming from, but I'm thinking more like Sharks by 1 or by 3. But it's not even a guarantee that we're going to win. So because like a lot of these Benetton players are the players who like did really well in the Six Nations as well. So
Mm.
we'll see how that pans out. And yes, Bryce, the
Yeah.
Benetton beat like a mine. It wasn't even the second team Leinster team. It was like
Mm.
not an A plus, but an A minus Leinster team. And that's
Mm.
why when I looked at the team sheet of Leinster versus Benetton, it was in Italy, by the way. So it's Benetton versus Leinster.
Mm.
I thought, oh, the Leinster have enough just to win. And then when I saw the result, I had to
Mm.
go back and watch the full game. I was like, how did this happen? So yeah,
Mm.
and then that obviously put things into perspective. So lucky the Bulls get to verse the lesser Italian team this weekend. We move right along to the highlight of the week for me.
Mm.
Everything's riding on this, guys. We're all Lions supporters on Saturday evening.
Yeah.
It's Leinster versus Lions in Dublin. Looks like pretty much the a bit of a mix here and there. Your thoughts again, Sibusiso?
Yeah, I think um look, I'm happy with the lineup. I think we've made two changes, one positional switch from the last game. I think actually Andre Ruan Fenta is moving from lock to flank, and the two new players, it's not Nahal and Westhuizen, I think. And with Landsberg going from he started the last game, but he's on the bench now. I think those are the only two changes. So I like the fact that we're not changing much of a winning team. I think he's like Cash is like Kevin Foot now. He believes in consistency and not tampering with the winning team, of which is something that I really like. And I'm hoping our defense is actually going to win us this game. As much as this guy, what's his name? Prendergast. He's, I mean, they're hyping him up. I'm not really feeling this guy for whatever reason. He's not the O'Hara that they want him to be. So I'm just hoping would capitalize on him and actually attack on his channel with Richard Creel on his 50th cap. I hope he actually has a blinder on that day. Yeah, so like Jacques Fourier has been saying that we know what to do and hopefully we're gonna execute it. Whatever that they've been planning on training, they're gonna execute it on the day. I see Leinster is actually play is they are playing so their team is balanced with you don't have your tight furlongs and stuff like that, but it's a balanced team of experience and youth, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm just hoping the Rugby 365 guys are wrong by saying Leinster by 12. Hopefully, we're gonna score 4 tries and get a losing bonus point if we lose, or just sneak it in by a point or two. Hopefully, Chris Smith is gonna be on song with his boot and solidify his status as the highest point scorer in the tournament. So we'll see how we fare on the day. I'm hoping your Cronje, Henko, Richard Creel, they actually remain on song because they've been playing great games in the recent times. And my
Yeah,
loose forward,
consistent.
I see Bato is on the bench. Bato is
Mm.
on the bench, and I'm just hoping Mahashe actually continues to be the rookie of the season so far.
Yeah, consistency is key. You're going for a 6-2 split with
Yep.
JC Pretorius, more of like an open side guy who came from the seven system, and then Powerhouse Bato Kokane on the bench as well, and then Darian Landsberg covering lock. And then yeah, the aspects of now that I really get a chance to look at this Leinster team, I would say it's still very good because they have depth. That's the thing. They got Frawley
It
in the
is.
fullback.
It is good.
He's got experience. Joshua Kenny has been a revelation for them this season because he's got sevens experience and he's sort of like a very elusive tackler type thing, almost like a CIA
Yeah.
type player. Ioane, the reason why this critique of Ioane is that we hold him to a high standard because when he broke into rugby, he was like one of the best players in the whole
Yeah.
of I think. So similar to Jaden Hendricks, the critique of him is like, well, we know your level is much higher than this, and we just haven't quite seen it to that extent. I think people would be maybe a bit more kind to him if he maybe wasn't already, if we didn't already have evidence of him playing at a much higher level. Jamie Osborne at 12, that's a very strong inside center. Jimmy O'Brien on the wing, incredible speed. The thing about Sam Pendergrass is he's very talented. I believe he's 21 or 22 now. They rushed him. They rushed him way too soon. His
They,
defense is poor, and they didn't. If you're going to play a fly off that's poor on defense, you're going to have to um, tailor the game plan that it doesn't get overly exposed, and they didn't do that well enough. So I still think Sam Benninggrass, look, he looks thin because he's quite tall, like almost like a Cohen Bosch type in early career. So I wouldn't necessarily cast him away. I'm thankful that the Irish system isn't like throwing him away, but at the same time, that could be if the Lions can adjust their game plan to try and get him in one-on-ones with like Eko van Wyk or something, or Ron Venter, that they could capitalize on opportunities there. So on the bench also, they've got a good team. There's like well-known people. Dan Sheehan's on the bench. John McKee's playing instead of McCarthy. That's interesting. So
yeah,
Leinster are playing a very good front row on the bench as well. Is Asana Mabakane is starting. So let's see how he's been in fantastic form as well. But lesser known Leinster players like Scott Penny, if you tune into the URC rewind, these guys are good. Finton Gunn's good. John Cooney's good. Hugo Keenan's obviously first choice fullback at Ireland. But yeah, this is pretty much the same Lions team we've seen for the last 6 weeks. Renzo Duplessis not in the mix. I don't know if he traveled or not. But they have able-bodied substitutes for him in JC Pretorius and like form of the like breakthrough player the season, not just in South Africa, but like the whole of the URC and Siba Mahashe. We'll end with you, Bryce.
Yeah, I was looking at this Leinster team now while you guys were talking. I really hope that this Lions team comes out fine. Like I'm looking at the loose trio versus the Leinster loose trio. If the Lions loose trio can get some real dominance over their loose trio, and they got Batu and JC on the bench, they can control that breakdown
yeah.
and like make every Leinster attack turn into like walking in quicksand or something. So yeah, I'm hoping that this game, because if Siba and Ruan and Franke really establish dominance, I think Rassi will be making some serious phone calls for that Barbarians game. I mean, if there's a game, this is the game. Otherwise, I'm hoping that the Lions do have, or really, or in the swing of things before that monster front row from Leinster comes on, because say what you want about Slimani, but when he comes on, that scrum stabilizes. So there's I'm hoping the Lions just play. Hoping that like Sibasiso said, that Leinster by 12 is not. I think Lions can win this game, and they should win this game. I think
I agree.
their team is good enough. The only thing that's different is you playing in Dublin. I mean, they've got, if this
That's
game was
it.
at Ellis Park, I'm telling you, Lions would put 40 points on this Leinster team. This is at Ellis Park. So just, eat some hot dogs, then that's just a
Yeah,
that's just a
it's gonna be
reference. If anyone understands.
I really think we do have a chance on this game.
yeah.
And
It's gonna be a weird situation though, because like Lions are gonna have to decide, are we gonna try and win this game and possibly lose by a significant margin, or are we going to just try and throw the ball around, get the 4 try bonus point? Because on this two game tour of Ireland, if they get a bonus, just one bonus point in this game and another bonus point in the next game, they could actually qualify with that. So it's almost like Sophie's choice here. But the thing is that I concur with the both of you. This is a very good Lions team. Why not go for the victory? And we'll see what team
No,
Munster pick against them next week. If the Lions can pick this team again against Munster, they've got a shot there as well.
yeah. No, I really think they have a shot, and I think they should actually try and win the game. It doesn't help to actually be going on and because I really think they're trying to win the game. If the fact that we've been playing the same team for the past 6 weeks with just a little changes, so I really think Cash is trying to win this game. So just in case Munster is putting up a very hectic team, we don't have to worry about that because we trying to get a home playoff spot so that we I don't know because we have a bigger chance of going to the next round if we get a home playoff spot.
Exactly. The permutations are incredible because if people could swap places on the log. We don't have time on the Friday episode to look at the log. We'll look at the log on Monday after we review this weekend's things. But yeah, the Lions need to. It's weird that the Lions could qualify, or the Lions could qualify with a home quarterfinal, and if they get a home quarterfinal, they got a very good shot at actually winning that. So yeah, we're all Lions supporters on Saturday night. It's got quite late in the evening this game. Guys, we're going to move on swiftly to the baby box. Bryce, the team is on the screen right now. Your overall thoughts?
This team has exceeded my expectations. This rugby championship. I mean, like I said on the first match, this is a battle origin team, and I think if I'm correct, they're going to play another series in South Africa before going in the juice. So I mean, imagine how much more stronger this team will get. I don't know who's injured and who's not because I enjoyed Felix here at 15 in the first match, and then we never see him again. So I'm not sure who's injured and who's available and who's not. But otherwise, the key guys I've been really impressed with in this rugby championship has got to be Hanek Teron. I think he's been a real batting ram when it comes to the forward and Marky. I think he's been playing like Rasper Visa there. I mean, he's been making Argentina and Australia look like tier 2 teams out there.
Yeah, no.
Skuman and Ahmed, sorry. Skuman and Ahmed, it's like watching Aaron Smith and Aaron Cruden just play off each other. Oh, it's beautiful to watch. Ethan Adams, like I said, he's wasting his time here. He should be playing in URC. And a surprise one is actually number 13, Samuel Badenhorst. I mean, look, we've said a lot of hype for Marcus Muller, but he's been playing really, really well at 13. And I think when the halfbacks came on as well, they've been looking a little classy as well. I mean, Musi Moyo, the little touches he does get, it's almost like he almost looks like a 50 cap Springbok already. So hopefully the Sharks, so JP's fast tracks him. Obviously, hopefully that is ready, but he really looks like the package deal. But I think the pay box will have too much for New Zealand. I think there'll be another dominant win, and yeah, I mean this team it's superhuman, guys. I don't know what changed in the last.
So too.
Yeah, CPC. So this sets it up. Well, the game's tomorrow, Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We are favorites to beat New Zealand, but this sets up the World Cup, the Junior World Cup, and possibly doing a back-to-back Junior World Cup. I'd love it. I'd love it if we did that. We've not done that before.
No, we haven't. And the talks now about that World Cup in Georgia is that the Boks, the junior Boks are actually favorites behind England and France. After this tournament with Argentina beating New Zealand, so New Zealand they're actually below on the ranking. So yeah, that Sam Badenhorst at 13 is actually your player, Bryce. He comes from, I think he's from Paul Ross. and he signed a contract with Stormers. And I think there's only one change in this team compared to the team that played previously. Risima, I think is at number 20. He's a loose forward. He's the only one that is a change. But all in all, I actually like this team, and I like Yakin at fly half. During I think it was a year or two ago, when he was playing for the Western Province, now Stormers at Craven Week. I wasn't sure about him, but he actually has a nice boot and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see how they go, how they do. But I'm expecting them to actually put another 40 points. I'm just surprised that with Marcus Muller not in the Stormers, and he actually joined the squad, but for whatever reason he's not playing. And yeah, so I'm actually surprised that he didn't even get a run here in this tournament. So yeah, we'll see.
Just think about it. For the World Cup, we're going to have Siaya back, Marcus Muller, Chisel Jooster, unless they ask Chisel Jooster to focus on Bulls preseason, or Chisel Jooster might just be in the senior Springbok team. We never know what might happen due to injuries or loss of form or whatever, or Rassi's innovation.
I think Mandela is also going to come back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mandela is also going to come back to this team. Yeah, the hooker.
Yeah. He used to be well, he's still with the Bulls, but he's joining the Sharks soon. So I'm pretty stoked to see that. So that's the baby Boks. We'll end the episode by just quickly reminding everybody that the Cheetahs are hanging on for dear life against Griquas, but they in terms of the log, but they are leading in this game, the last I saw on Instagram. So the Cheetahs were leading by like 17 points against Griquas at Bloemfontein. Weirdly, the Griquas Instagram said it was a derby game, but they're in two different provinces. So I'm not quite sure exactly what derby that is, because for a moment there I was like, but the Cheetahs in the Northwest and sorry, the Griquas in the Northwest and Cheetahs in the Free State. So
Griquas in the Northern Cape.
Yeah, exactly. So Puma is also playing right now against Griffins. Pumas are probably definite to win that game. And then the fixtures for tomorrow are Eagles versus Leopards. Eagles very much fighting with Cheetahs to get that fourth place. Cavaliers versus Eastern Cape. Cavaliers are more than likely going to win this, and Falca are probably going to defeat Border, because Border have unfortunately been quite poor. And then if we look at the log quickly before we go, let me zoom this out for a moment if you're listening on audio. So Griquas by far on the way. They did rotate their team significantly. Makata was at 12 at inside center, none of their usual inside centers. So I wouldn't say they had nothing to play for in this game away in the Free State against Cheetahs, but they did give a lot of guys game time that maybe didn't get that much game time. Pumas, but everything below them, it's Pumas, Cheetahs, Boland, Southwestern District Eagles, depending on this last round, round 9, before we go into the playoffs, the semifinals. This is going to decide who makes the playoffs, and also decides who gets to the Currie Cup Premier Division. And the Cheetahs are freaking out because they say that if they don't make the Currie Cup Premier Division, it's going to seriously dent their financial ambitions. So, guys, I'm really sad at the state of the Cheetahs. Look, when the Cheetahs and the Southern Kings were removed from the Pro 14 and the other 4 South African teams were placed into the Pro 14, making the URC, I hope that South African rugby would assist these teams to stay competitive. Unsurprisingly and sadly, to a high degree, sadly, Eastern Province Kings then turns into Eastern Province Elephants, but then the name changes, and the problem is the fact that they fell apart entirely. Even though they are above the Griffins here, I expected them to be a bit more competitive. The Cheetahs were somewhat more competitive since they were removed from the Pro 14, because they were invited every season since then into the Challenge Cup. So they would play this Challenge Cup, they would play the SA Cup, they would play this Cheetahs invitational tournament where they invite teams over like Georgia and that type of thing. And they would also play Currie Cup Premier Division. But the Cheetahs are now saying their financial situation is such that if they don't make Currie Cup Premier Division, they're going to be in dire straits. Francois Stein's quote entirely was what we're all going to lose our jobs. So the thing is that like
So
the Cheetahs, you're not entitled to be in the Currie Cup Premier Division. You got to be competitive. Look at what Griquas have done. Look at what the Pumas have done. Look at what Sanlam Bola and Cavaliers have done. Yes, they've got huge cash injection. Same with Southwestern District Eagles. Their success is due to hard work, but also a massive cash injection. Your thoughts on this vlog,
yeah.
Sibusisa?
No, I'm actually not following this more than I'm following the under 23 thing. So, but it's pretty sad that I did read the comments by Francois Steyn about the dire situation of the dire financial situation of the Cheetahs, and with the Cheetahs being a very strong, it used to be a strong franchise, and I mean back when the Super Rugby started, I mean they used to form the Cats with the Lions, and now for them to actually on the verge of being extinct or not being in the forefront of South African rugby is actually a sad feeling. So yeah, it really saddens me to see a franchise like Cheetahs struggling like that. But and I saw they signed Faf de Klerk. I'm not sure how. And even though there was a guy who I think he played for the Ikes, and there was a Makaza. He actually went there.
Mm.
I really thought the Lions should have actually scooped him with when especially when we lost the winger to the Sharks. So I'm hoping someone could actually potentially scooped him from the Cheetahs because I mean that guy went from varsity rugby to a Bok alignment camp, of
Mm.
which is something that was unheard of at the time. But so for a talent like that to be lost in the system because of a struggling franchise, it's not really nice. So yeah, hopefully they're gonna get a cash. They're gonna get a cash injection soon and save the Cheetahs.
Yeah. Even if they don't make the playoffs, and then they don't make the Currie Cup Premier Division, I hope they just recalibrate. Remember when the Lions got relegated from Super Rugby? They went away, they rebuilt the team, they invested in youth, they recruited really well, and then those players in that downtime actually helped them make three Super Rugby finals in a row. So look,
Yeah,
the Cheetahs can't be sort of entitled and say, "Oh, we're a historic franchise, and therefore we have to be in the Currie Cup Premier Division." The Southwestern District Eagles are competitive. Yes, they've gotten
yeah,
massive cash injection, and it's nice to live in George and stuff. But like, it's all on merit, and I was quietly disappointed and vocally disappointed at the Cheetahs' uncompetitiveness in the Challenge Cup and in the Currie Cup. Because, I mean, last season the Currie Cup Premier Division they didn't do that well, and we did highlight when this podcast started, we first actually were just doing Springboks and Currie Cup because those were the only games on URC hadn't started yet. We did highlight Makaza, and then because I mean he played it really well for UCT, and then also a very good kicker. But like I think that if the Cheetahs really fall apart, that Makaza will land on his feet. I mean, there's always a French D2 team willing to pick a talented player. So, on that note, I appreciate your time, gentlemen. That is the end of the show. If you like the podcast, click subscribe. Yeah, like, get in the comments on the audios as well. Get in the comments, give us 5-star review. Now we're gonna go watch the Stormers beat Ulster.
Mm.
Until next week. Oh, until Monday's episode in Rasi We Trust.